You've always felt it, haven't you? That sense that life weighs heavier on your shoulders than on others. While some seem to glide through existence, you're met with challenges that cut deeper, trials that leave you wondering if the universe has singled you out. And here's the unsettling truth, you're right. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And with chosenness comes the heaviest quantum tests. Not punishments, not accidents, but precise initiations written into the frequency of your being. Picture this. You walk into a room, and though you say nothing, the atmosphere shifts. People sense something in you they can't quite name. Some are drawn closer, others recoil. It's not charisma, it's not mood, it's vibration. Your frequency disturbs the comfortable stagnation of those around you because your energy hums at a rate that calls out the illusions they cling to. You don't just live in reality, you alter it. And reality, when confronted, doesn't bend quietly. It tests you. The paradox is this: those who carry the potential to shift timelines are the ones most fiercely tested by the field itself. Not out of cruelty, but calibration. You've been led to believe that obstacles are barriers, when in truth they are tuning forks. They hammer against you not to break you, but to resonate you more precisely with the version of reality you're meant to embody. Think of yourself as a frequency disruptor in a system addicted to sameness. The moment your signal strengthens, the old field reacts. Resistance rises. Life appears to get harder, not easier. You question your worth, your path, your sanity. Yet beneath the chaos, something precise is happening. Alignment is being demanded. The universe doesn't waste trials on the ordinary. The hardest initiations are reserved for the carriers of highest codes. Imagine the chosen one as a bridge between timelines. You stand with one foot in the world of illusion, fear, scarcity, ego, and another in the quantum field of infinite possibility. To hold this position is to stretch across dimensions, and that stretch aches. It tears at your identity, pulls at your old stories, presses against every wound. Still, this tension is not weakness. It's proof of your role as a conduit. When your tests appear, they often masquerade as losses. Relationships ending, careers collapsing, health faltering, moments where everything you trusted dissolves. The ego screams betrayal, the mind scrambles for meaning. Yet the field whispers, this is refinement. You are being stripped of what cannot survive in higher frequency. You are being tuned. And only through fire does the true resonance emerge. Let's get personal here. Recall a time when everything in your life seemed to fall apart. The job you clung to vanished. A person you loved walked away. Your sense of certainty shattered. In that moment, you may have felt abandoned. Yet look closer. What followed? Was it not the beginning of a deeper self you had ignored? Did it not open doors that were invisible before? These so-called devastations were not punishment. They were frequency resets. The quantum field was collapsing one timeline so another could rise. Why chosen ones? Why you? Because your signal matters. In quantum reality, energy does not move in isolation. It entangles. Your frequency ripples outward, pulling others into coherence. When you embody truth, you broadcast it into the field, and reality reorganizes not just for you, but for all entangled with you. This is why your trials are greater. They are not just for you. They are for the collective. Every time you face what feels unbearable, remember this pressure is proof of your role. Diamonds are not grown in comfort. They are forged under relentless force, heat, and time. You too are being crystallized into a sharper transmitter of light. To the untrained eye, it looks like struggle. To the quantum field, it is activation. Now pause, breathe, feel the weight you've carried, the endless questions you've asked, the nights you've wondered why it feels so hard. Allow yourself to see it differently. These are not random burdens, they are signals of chosenness. The heaviest tests are not punishments, they are permissions. Permission to step fully into the frequency you were born to hold. Permission to disrupt the old field and anchor the new. So I ask you directly, where in your life do you feel most tested right now? What if that place of pain is not your downfall but your initiation? What if it's the doorway to your quantum refinement? The chosen ones experience the hardest tests because they are the living edges of reality. You are not here to collapse under the weight. You are here to show that even the heaviest frequencies can be alchemized into light. You've noticed the pattern. The harder you try to stabilize, the more life shakes you. Each step toward your calling triggers another wave of challenge. This isn't chaos. It's quantum law in action. Trials appear as vibrational mirrors, reflecting the frequencies you carry. The field doesn't speak words, it communicates in resonance. When your signal carries contradiction, reality echoes it back as tests, not to punish, but to reveal what remains unaligned. Picture a tuning fork struck in silence. Instantly, objects vibrating on the same frequency begin to hum. Reality responds in the same way. Your mind may declare abundance, while your body radiates scarcity. The result: bills arrive, opportunities vanish, support fades. Not as proof of failure, but as a precise mirror of disharmony. The real test isn't the collapse, it's whether you anchor into fear or rise into coherence. For chosen ones, the reflections come sharper, louder, impossible to ignore. Where another person stumbles lightly, you crash hard. Your frequency carries weight in the field, even small distortions ripple outward with force. So the feedback intensifies, magnifies, accelerates. What feels cruel is actually calibration vibration being polished until it holds pure clarity. Think of a lens wiped clean. Most people tolerate smudges, their blur barely matters. You, however, are called to see with precision, so life sends abrasive cloths, loss, betrayals, sudden endings to scrape away distortions. Painful, yes. Unfair. It feels that way? Necessary? Absolutely. The gift lies in what emerges, vision sharpened enough to pierce illusion. Take love as an example. You affirm connection, visualize intimacy, recite mantras of worth. Yet a quiet fear whispers, what if I'm not enough? What if they leave? The field picks up that whisper louder than the affirmations. Tests follow partners who abandon bonds, that unravel encounters, that expose old wounds. To the mind cruelty, to the quantum field precision, each test reveals the vibration that blocks love from holding steady. That's the hidden design of quantum trials. Challenges measure your resonance. Breakdowns invite recalibration. The mirror shifts only when you shift. When chaos arrives, yet your state of being holds steady, reality changes its reflection. The field bends to coherence. Pause here. Think of a recent trial: financial strain, rejection, health struggles. Instead of asking, why me, try, what frequency is this reflecting? Which belief or hidden expectation hums beneath the surface? Which part of you still vibrates with fear or lack? This reframing turns suffering into a doorway. Now, why are chosen ones tested more? Because the universe entrusts you with heavier mirrors. A greater soul requires deeper refinement. Your vibration affects not just you, but everyone around you. When you align, others rise. When you falter, the ripple spreads wide. Tests arrive sharper, not to crush you, but to shape you into stability, powerful enough to hold collective resonance. Fire tells the story well. Place a stone in flames, it remains unchanged. Place raw ore in the same fire, impurities melt. Structure transforms, a new form emerges. Both endured fire, but only one transformed. You are not stone, you are ore. The fire reaches deeper into you because you are meant to become something new. So the weight of your trials isn't evidence of weakness, it's evidence of material strong enough for transformation. The chosen cannot walk easy roads. Refinement demands heat. Each sharp mirror cuts not to destroy, but to reveal fractures waiting for healing. When the next test arrives, as it will look at the mirror, ask, which part of me vibrates here? Am I being asked to let go, to trust, to expand? Every test is a question from the field. Your alignment is the answer. When you anchor in coherence, trials dissolve, reality bends toward your essence. Chosen ones don't receive easy paths because easy paths don't purify. They are handed mirrors fierce enough to shape mastery. The real invitation isn't to escape tests, but to see through them. Every reflection, no matter how sharp, carries the same encoded message: you are ready for more. Every chosen one eventually discovers the same paradox: the darkest wounds conceal the brightest alchemy. Suffering, though it feels senseless, hides a code for transformation. You aren't being punished, you're being initiated. Each trial presses you against the raw material of your own being, forcing you to remember an ancient truth: within pain lies the seed of light. Alchemy has always been more than the attempt to turn lead into gold. At its essence, it's the art of transmuting density into radiance. In the laboratory of your life, the raw lead is your grief, your heartbreak, your fear. These are not obstacles blocking the path, they are the path. When you meet them without resistance, the very heaviness that seemed unbearable becomes the material of your awakening. Picture a storm. Lightning cracks, rain lashes, thunder shakes the sky. Most run for shelter, but you stand in it. You feel the force move through you. At first it seems you'll be torn apart, then something shifts. You realize the storm isn't against you, it's sculpting you. Its power carves channels inside where light can flow more freely. This is the alchemy of suffering. It hollows you out to make space for brilliance. Every betrayal that shattered you pulled down a mask, every loss stripped away false security, every rejection sliced through the illusions you clung to. It looked like destruction, yet underneath was precision. A sculptor's chisel feels violent to stone but necessary for the masterpiece to emerge. Life is the sculptor. You are the marble. Your wounds are not disfigurements, they are openings through which your essence can breathe. You may wonder why others seem to glide through life without these tests. That contrast is intentional. Chosen ones carry frequencies strong enough to shift collective consciousness. To hold that weight, you cannot remain fragile. Surface-level spirituality won't suffice. Half-beliefs, shallow affirmations, or bypassed pain collapse under pressure. So your trials sharpen you into someone who embodies truth, not someone who simply repeats it. The ancient alchemists spoke of solve et coagula, dissolve and reform. That's exactly what your tests demand. Old identities dissolve. The ego resists, screams, fights to survive. Then new coherence forms, not from theory, but from lived initiation. After a betrayal, you learn unconditional worth. After loss, you embody presence. After failure, you radiate resilience. Without the dissolving, these truths would never anchor in your bones. Notice the hidden pattern. Every collapse precedes expansion. Think of the seed underground. It must crack open, surrender, its form dissolve in darkness before the sprout pierces light. That cracking is not optional. It is the initiation. Your soul follows the same rhythm. You crack open through tests so that new life may emerge. The suffering wasn't meant to end you. It was meant to split you wide enough for essence to take root. Reflect on your own path. That heartbreak that nearly destroyed you, didn't it later awaken compassion you never imagined you'd carry? That failure that humiliated you, didn't it sharpen your clarity, redirect your focus toward truth? In hindsight, you can see the alchemy wounds transformed into wisdom, loss converted into strength. At the time it felt unbearable. In hindsight it feels necessary. This is how lead becomes gold. Alchemy demands fire, dissolution, recombination. Spiritual awakening demands the same. The chosen don't bypass this furnace, they walk into it. Trials that seem merciless are invitations to burn away the dross. Every fear that rises, every shadow that surfaces, every collapse you endure, these are flames consuming what cannot enter the higher frequency. What remains is your essence, stripped of illusion, shining with unshakable light. You may think you've broken, yet notice what breaks not your soul, but your attachments, your identities, your illusions. Those fragments dissolve. What's left is indestructible. The hardest tests press you until you see clearly what was never real. You are not your rejection. You are not your failure. You are not your scarcity. You are awareness itself, energy moving through form, eternal presence, clothed in temporary experience. The alchemist within you already knows how to transmute. It's why you survive storms that should have buried you. It's why even in your darkest night, some spark inside whispered, "Not yet." There is more. That whisper is the gold already present, waiting for you to recognize it. Tests don't create your brilliance, they reveal it. They dissolve what hides it, so when the next wave of suffering arrives, and it will, you can meet it differently. Instead of clenching in resistance, breathe into curiosity. Ask, what is this fire burning away? What gold is hidden inside this lead? This shift transforms trials into teachers. Pain becomes portal. Loss becomes catalyst. Fear becomes doorway. This is the alchemy of chosen ones, to hold suffering without collapsing into it, to stand in fire without turning to ash, to let storms hollow you so light may pour through, to transmute density into brilliance, wound into wisdom, fear into freedom. This isn't poetic, it's practical quantum law. Energy never disappears, it transforms. The same applies to you. You are not here to avoid the furnace. You are here to walk through it, emerge luminous, and show others that transformation is possible. Your wounds are not scars to hide, they are symbols of the alchemist's path, proof that you survived the fire and turned pain into radiance. That is why chosen ones endure the hardest quantum tests. They are the living crucibles where density becomes gold. You've already felt it, the cracks in your old identity, the dissolving of who you thought you were. Now comes the deeper step, transcending the ego that clings to those roles. Ego isn't your enemy, it's a mask, a necessary costume that helps you function in the physical world, yet the chosen ones are called to shed this costume, not destroy it, so that essence can shine through unblocked. Think of the ego as a mirror fogged by breath. You press your face close, trying to see yourself, yet all you glimpse is distortion. The fog is made of every story you absorbed, who you should be, how you must perform, what you must achieve. The hardest tests of your life serve one core function: they wipe the mirror clean. Pain, humiliation, loss. These are not punishments, but cloths that clear away distortion. What remains is pure reflection. When ego dissolves, fear often rises. Without roles, without titles, without achievements, you feel naked. Who are you if not your success? Who are you if not your wounds? Who are you if not the stories you repeat? That nakedness terrifies most, which is why so few transcend it. Yet you, the chosen one, are meant to stand inside that nakedness until it no longer feels like loss but liberation. Imagine an actor who has played a role for decades. They forget they are acting, they weep when the character fails, rejoice when the character triumphs. Then one day the curtain falls, lights dim, and silence presses in. For the first time they feel themselves without costume. The role dissolves. That's what ego death feels like. Unsettling at first, yet the only way to remember who you truly are, the one who plays the role, not the role itself. Ego clings because it fears annihilation, so the tests arrive to push you past that fear. Rejection shows you that worth doesn't depend on approval. Failure teaches you that identity is not built on achievement. Loss reveals that your essence doesn't disappear when form shifts. Each test dismantles one more pillar the ego leans on. At first you resist, then you realize the scaffolding was never you. Quantum physics points to a strange truth. At the smallest scales, matter isn't solid. It's probabilities, vibrations, fields of possibility. The ego insists reality is rigid, that you are limited to one role, one story, one identity. The quantum field whispers otherwise. You are infinite potential collapsing into form only through perception. When you transcend ego, you stop clinging to one fixed story and step into fluidity. You remember that identity is not who you are, it's what you temporarily channel. This remembrance unlocks freedom. Instead of chasing validation, you rest in essence. Instead of fearing loss, you trust the flow. Instead of needing to control, you align with frequency. Tests that once crushed you now reveal their hidden mercy. They strip away falsehood so you can walk uncloaked. Naked, yes. Vulnerable, yes. Yet more powerful than any mask could ever allow. You may ask, why is this ego death so relentless for chosen ones? Because to manifest at quantum levels, alignment must be clean. The ego's distortions interfere like static in a signal. If you carry unhealed need for approval, every intention becomes mixed with doubt. If you cling to identity as victim, every creation bends toward suffering. To co-create with the quantum field, the signal must be pure. Ego must dissolve, so your essence can broadcast without interference. This doesn't mean ego disappears forever. It becomes a tool, no longer the master. Like a mask you can wear or set aside, you use it when needed, but you no longer mistake it for yourself. That shift is freedom. The hardest tests carve this distinction. They force you to see you are not the storm, you are the sky. Clouds come and go, roles rise and fall, but the sky remains vast, clear, eternal. Notice how your deepest trials already carried this lesson. When you lost what you thought defined you, you still existed. When the role crumbled, something watched. When the illusion shattered, awareness remained. That awareness is your true identity. The tests didn't erase you, they revealed you. They pressed until nothing false could survive. This is the liberation hidden inside suffering, the freedom of essence. Once you taste it, you no longer fear tests. You see their purpose. You see their mercy. Every breakdown becomes another invitation to drop the mask, to stand unveiled, to rest in the presence that cannot be destroyed. You may not realize it, but transcending ego is the pivot point. Without it, manifestation remains struggle, frequency stays distorted, perception stays clouded. With it, the quantum field opens wide. You align not by forcing, but by being. The hardest tests bring you here where nothing remains but essence, where the mirror shines clear, where you no longer manifest from desire alone, you manifest from truth. You've stepped beyond the fragile mask of ego, and now you face a larger mystery, the entanglement of destiny and choice. This is the paradox that every chosen one must unravel. At first glance, it seems contradictory. If you are destined, then how can you choose? If you choose, then how can destiny already exist? The truth is that both are woven together in the same quantum fabric. In quantum physics, entanglement describes particles linked so intimately that distance doesn't separate them. Touch one and the other responds instantly. No matter how far apart they drift, their states remain bound. The same law applies to your path. Certain frequencies you carry are entangled with outcomes, experiences, initiations that will arrive no matter what. You were born carrying these codes. They vibrate within your essence. That is destiny. Yet, how you meet them, how you interpret them, how you transform them, that is choice. Picture two travelers standing before a river. Both are destined to cross. The river is entangled with their life path. One panics, resists, drowns in the current. The other surrenders, flows, and finds themselves carried to new shores. The river was inevitable. The manner of crossing was not. This is the secret of entanglement. The test will come, but your frequency shapes the outcome. Chosen ones experience the hardest tests because their entanglement runs deep. They are wired to be initiators, not just participants. The quantum field responds differently to them. It demands coherence. You cannot simply skate along, repeating old programs. The field won't allow it, so the lessons arrive sharper, the feedback swifter. Your destiny is not punishment. It is an invitation to wield choice with precision. When you begin to awaken, you notice this strange phenomenon. Reality seems to bend around your inner state. Think despair and doors close. Choose alignment and synchronicities multiply. That's not coincidence. It's entanglement at work. The field mirrors back the frequency you broadcast, and your broadcast is sculpted by both your conscious choices and unconscious currents. That's why chosen ones are pressed so intensely to force awareness of every vibration they carry. Nothing slips by unnoticed. Consider the times when you longed for peace, yet turmoil found you. When you wished for success, yet sabotage arrived. Those weren't random failures, they were signals, entanglements showing you where hidden frequencies still pulsed. The field will not allow a chosen one to manifest from distortion unchecked. The test becomes the mirror. The harder it feels, the more it reveals that you are ready to refine. Destiny does not rob you of freedom, it demands responsibility. Your entanglement with the field means your thoughts, words, and choices ripple outward, touching more than just you. You are a node in the web of consciousness, broadcasting signals that shape collective reality. That's why your lessons sting so deeply. It's not only your path at stake, it's the frequency you send into the whole. When you understand this, manifestation shifts. You no longer see it as merely getting what you want. You begin to feel it as becoming what aligns. Destiny lays the blueprint, choice adds the color. The blueprint says you will cross rivers, face storms, walk deserts. Choice decides, will you resist or will you transmute? Will you enter heavy with fear or radiant with trust? The quantum field is exact. It doesn't respond to words alone or even intentions alone. It responds to coherence, the harmony of thought, feeling, action. If your words declare abundance while your body pulses, scarcity entanglement ensures scarcity manifests. If your desire says love while your subconscious holds fear, love cannot flow. The field does not judge, it mirrors. This is why chosen ones feel the test so fiercely. The mirroring is immediate, inescapable, undeniable. Yet there is power in this. Once you see how entanglement operates, you can play with it consciously. You begin to test reality, shifting your frequency deliberately, watching the world shift in response. You realize manifestation is not conjuring from thin air, it is collapsing potential into form. The field is infinite possibility, waiting for your coherence. When you stand clear, unshaken, the collapse becomes effortless. You might recall moments when this already happened. A thought aligned with your heart, and suddenly the right person called the right door, opened the right event, unfolded. You felt the current of destiny carrying you, yet it was your alignment that unlocked the flow. That's the marriage of destiny and choice. Destiny sets the stage. Choice plays the music. Together, they write the scene. The hardest quantum tests ensure you master this marriage. They strip away illusions until you realize you are never powerless. Even in the face of what seems inevitable, choice lives in how you vibrate, how you respond, how you align. Entanglement ensures that every shift within you ripples outward, reshaping the dance of reality. So when the river appears again, don't ask why it must. Ask how you will cross. Ask what frequency you will hold. Ask what signal you will broadcast to the field. This is the secret of chosen ones. They don't escape destiny. They transmute it. They don't erase the river. They transform in the crossing. Beneath every choice, every test lies a current. Most people never dare to face the hidden energy of the subconscious. For chosen ones, this is the crucible. The quantum field isn't punishing you. It's surfacing what lives unexamined within you, pressing shadows into the light. Your subconscious is not simply a storage room of forgotten thoughts. It is a generator pulsing frequencies 24 hours a day, shaping reality without your conscious consent. Think of it like a vast underground river. You walk on the surface, imagining you steer the course with conscious thought, yet beneath torrents move silently, redirecting the entire landscape. When that river carries fear, shame, scarcity, unworthiness, you meet them as external tests. They appear as betrayals, failures, delays, conflicts. You wonder why these patterns keep repeating. It is the subconscious echoing back. For chosen ones, the river runs strong, and the field ensures you cannot ignore it. Every subconscious shadow is an initiation. Each test says, "Here is the frequency you forgot you carried. Will you meet it, or will you deny it again? If you suppress it, the test returns louder. If you face it, the shadow transforms, releasing energy once trapped in distortion. What once sabotaged you becomes power. What once triggered you becomes mastery. Picture yourself standing in a hall of mirrors. Some show you radiant, whole, unstoppable. Others distort your image, revealing doubt, fear, limitation. Most people smash the mirrors they dislike. Chosen ones learn to step closer, to look without flinching. The distortions are not enemies, they are messages. They say, "This frequency still vibrates within you. Bring it home, integrate it." Integration is not the same as elimination. You cannot destroy the shadow because it is simply energy misaligned. Instead, you alchemize it. You accept the wounded child, the fearful self, the angry voice, and you fold them into your wholeness. Then the energy shifts. Rage becomes clarity, fear becomes intuition, shame becomes compassion. This is the alchemy of the subconscious. Why is this so vital in the quantum field? Because incoherence cannot sustain manifestation. If half your energy declares abundance, while the other half believes you are unworthy, the signal collapses. The field responds with mixed results, chaotic tests, fragmented outcomes. For chosen ones, incoherence is magnified. Your energy is too strong for half-truths. The field demands you refine until you radiate clean. That is why your tests bite deeper, why your shadows feel relentless. Consider the myths of initiation that echo across cultures. Heroes descend into underworlds, shamans face demons, seekers battle dragons. These are symbolic stories of subconscious descent. The chosen must go below, must meet what others avoid, must confront the darkness that lurks within. Only then can they return with wisdom, light, and power. The subconscious is your underworld. Your dragons are inner wounds. Your demons are unresolved frequencies. The test is not to slay them, but to claim them as allies. This explains why you often feel as if you're living cycles no one else sees. Friends drift through life unshaken while you repeat intense storms of heartbreak, failure, disillusionment. You may envy their ease, yet deep down you know your path is different. Their tests are surface ripples, yours are tectonic shifts. The field keeps pressing you not to punish but to refine, to activate, to awaken. When subconscious patterns rise, your task is not to flee. It is to pause, breathe, and listen. Ask, what energy is this really? What message does it carry? If you stop resisting, the pattern dissolves faster than you imagine. The field only amplifies what you refuse to see. Once seen, acknowledged, integrated, it releases. That is the paradox. The test weakens when you stop fighting it. Think of times you finally surrendered. The moment you admitted your fear, it softened. The moment you acknowledged your wound, it began to heal. Denial locked the energy tight. Honesty unlocked it. This is how subconscious initiations transform into liberation. Every shadow you integrate becomes fuel. Every fear you transmute becomes strength. Soon, the very qualities that once sabotaged you become tools in your alchemical arsenal. The subconscious is the hidden architect of destiny. If you do not work with it, you remain a prisoner of unseen design. If you engage with it, you become a conscious co-creator. For chosen ones, mastery of this realm is non-negotiable. Without it, manifestation collapses into chaos. With it, you unlock coherence, clarity, command. So when your shadows rise again, and they will see them for what they are, invitations. The field isn't mocking you. It's holding up a mirror saying, look here, this energy wants to be freed. If you lean in instead of resist, you'll notice the tests start to shift. What once felt like attack now feels like initiation. What once seemed like punishment now feels like refinement. This is the secret. Every subconscious shadow is raw material. The chosen alchemist doesn't discard it. You hold it heat, it transform it into gold. That gold is not external wealth or praise. It is vibrational power, coherence, the kind of presence that bends reality. This is why the chosen endure the hardest quantum tests. Not to break, but to forge. You have walked through resistance frequencies, alchemy, ego, collapse, entanglement, subconscious trials. Now you stand at the threshold of coherence, where all threads weave into one truth, becoming the living signal. This is not about concepts anymore. It is embodiment. You no longer seek proof from the outside. You become proof. You don't chase the field. You radiate, and the field organizes around you. To reach this point, chosen ones endure storms that others never glimpse. Yet the storms strip away illusion, until only essence remains. Coherence is that essence, your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy moving as one, tuned to the same frequency. No contradiction, no fracture, no hidden sabotage. When you walk in coherence, the quantum field doesn't just respond to you, it resonates with you like a perfect note struck across infinite strings. Imagine yourself as a tuning fork. Strike it, and every fork around vibrates in harmony. This is what it means to be the living signal. You don't need to convince, prove, argue, or beg. You radiate such clarity that reality bends to match it. People sense it without words. Opportunities align as if by fate. Synchronicities appear like breadcrumbs on your path. It feels miraculous, yet it is the natural consequence of coherence. This state doesn't emerge overnight. It is forged in every test you've survived, each shadow integrated, each ego collapsed, each wound alchemized, each subconscious fear faced together. They built your frequency into something indestructible. The tests never were random. They were calibrations tuning your being until you became unmistakable to the field. That is why chosen ones experience the hardest trials. The greater the coherence required, the greater the heat of initiation. At this stage, manifestation changes form. You don't throw desires into the void hoping they return. You don't force visualizations you don't believe. You don't recite affirmations with trembling hands. You embody the reality you choose. The field cannot deny coherence. If you embody freedom, freedom reflects. If you embody abundance, abundance multiplies. If you embody love, love cascades. The living signal doesn't ask, it declares. Notice what happens inside you as you hear these words. Something stirs, something remembers. This isn't foreign knowledge, it's recognition. You've felt glimpses of it before the moment everything clicked, the time events flowed seamlessly, the instant you trusted deeply and life aligned. Those weren't accidents, they were flashes of coherence. Now the invitation is to sustain it. Becoming the living signal means no longer measuring worth by outcomes. You don't manifest to prove you can. You manifest because your state makes it inevitable. Tests no longer feel like punishments. They feel like initiations sharpening your resonance. Failure isn't failure anymore, it's refinement. Delay isn't rejection, it's preparation. Every experience, no matter how intense, shapes the clarity of your frequency. So how do you live this truth daily? You practice coherence in the smallest acts. Begin each morning tuning into a single word that embodies the frequency you choose: peace, clarity, abundance, love. When shadows rise, pause, breathe, face them with curiosity instead of judgment. Ask what energy seeks integration here. Speak less from fear, more from presence. Notice when you contract and choose expansion instead. Carry gratitude not as performance but as resonance. Let it hum beneath your words, your steps, your choices. End your day by declaring, I am whole, I am aligned, I am coherent. Not to convince, but to remember. These aren't rituals of striving. They are declarations of essence. Daily practice isn't about effort, it's about consistency. You keep tuning your signal until coherence becomes natural, until you no longer practice being the living signal, you simply are it. I want to leave you with this in the comments. Drop one word that captures the energy you choose to radiate forward. Let it be your seed, your declaration, your vibration. When you plant that word here, you plant it in yourself. If this journey has stirred something within you, if you felt a spark, a remembering, a shift, I invite you to subscribe. Not to follow passively, but to join an unfolding movement, a gathering of those ready to embody coherence and reshape reality together. You are not just watching a video, you are stepping into resonance. This is not entertainment, this is initiation. You are not here by chance, you are here because the field brought you here, because your essence called this to you, because it is time. So step forward, chosen one. Embody your signal, live your coherence, radiate your truth. The field is waiting not to test you, but to echo you. Remember, you don't manifest from want, you manifest from being.